We were just talking about before we started recording, like you all have met like
Yeah.
a decade ago almost at my wedding.
You just had your anniversary, right?
Yeah, we just had our 9th anniversary.
Wow.
So yeah,
At a
just last
winery,
weekend.
nonetheless.
100%.
Ooh,
It was,
wow.
it was just preordained to be. Like,
That's wild. God, 9
when
years.
my wife,
I
when Erin
remember.
married me. Yeah.
I
That
remember
was funny.
9
You
years.
got married at a winery when you didn't like wine at the time.
Yeah, somewhere deep in my mind, I was like, this is my future. Not talking about my wife, talking about the winery.
For sure. You saw the wine
Erin,
podcast.
Don't listen to this episode. And this is jumping in the future a little bit, but this episode's going to air on your birthday, Janine. So
Yes.
happy birthday. We're going to pretend it's today. Ready?
Thank you.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
Oh,
birthday.
thank you.
Yay.
Thank you. Today is my special
Happy
day.
birthday.
Absolutely. Today is your special day.
Today.
Any plans for the birthday?
I had early birthday plans because I have two kids who also have September birthdays that are flanking mine. So last year it was kind of just eclipsed. So my wonderful wife decided to move my birthday to before. So we did some celebrating last weekend, which was
See a little
which was
focus.
Nice.
Yeah,
Smart.
went out to a little dinner. We did a cooking class. Learned how to make
Ooh,
crepes.
nice.
So if you ever need some crepes,
Very
I
nice.
got you.
Absolutely.
Nice. Absolutely.
Very cool.
Stop wasting your crepes.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, what a better way to spend your birthday and celebrate your birthday than right here on the Stop Wasting Your Wine podcast.
I mean,
Very true.
Yes.
So true.
It
It's
is
the one
my
and only place to
most
do it.
consistently listened to podcast. That's a true statement.
Aw.
Stop.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm a little
That's a
behind
plug.
from summer because I listen to it when I'm commuting and I'm a teacher, so I haven't been in the car, but I'm catching up.
Nice.
Well, thank you.
Nice. Yeah, we appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
So much. Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast where we waste our wine so you don't have to. On this episode, we review
A red wine from Italy.
What's up, everybody? My name is Colin.
Don't stop.
No, I just sorry, the reactions really.
Oh,
caught me
sorry.
off
We
guard.
got casual
so
Colin
good.
this week.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Go on.
Anyway, yes, my name is Colin, and I am joined, as always, by my two co-hosts, Joel and Aaron. Gentlemen, how are we doing this evening?
What's up,
Absolutely
buddy?
wonderful.
Feeling loose, feeling casual. It's casual Colin
Seriously,
today.
super loose.
Yeah.
I like
Well, I don't have to do the learning segment, so I got nothing to worry about.
Why not?
Yeah, why?
Well, we have a very special guest this evening who has agreed to do the learning segment for us. Aaron, would you be so kind as to introduce our very special guest?
I would absolutely love to.
Very
Today
exciting.
we are joined by a very good friend of mine and longtime coworker and buddy, Janine Whitman. Janine, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here. I love your show.
Oh,
Thank you so
Janine.
much.
We're so excited to have you on because I feel like I've been talking to you about the show since we decided to do it. And I was like, Janine, you know a lot about wine. Like, what do you think of this? Because you have a ton of wine in your life. Like, you grew up around it. It was, we're in education together now, but wine was a big part of just growing up for you, wasn't it?
Yes. My mom worked at a wine importing company. She was the marketing VP there. And so for my whole life, that was sort of just the wine world, drinking wine,
cool.
visiting wineries. And then I worked there a little bit during college and a little after. So I love the wine. And honestly, one of the things that I was always like shouting from the rooftops to whoever would listen is like, good wines are not expensive. Like you can drink really, really good wines for $20. When all my friends were like, wine is not for us. So that's part of why I was like, this show is amazing. It's what the people need.
That's our
My
mantra.
dad worked in like doors and door locks, so like I feel kind of gypped on this. Like you
Well-
were just surrounded by wine bottles, and I just could always lock my door. Like this is
That's important.
That's not the worst thing. Also, I was going to bring up Colin briefly worked for it wasn't just cheese. It was like cheese and meats, like a fine food distributor.
Ooh.
Gourmet food.
That was always cool that we could go over to your place and you had just like a drawer in the fridge full of cheese and meats and awesome stuff. But I imagine, Janine, it was sort of a similar thing maybe around the house, but with wine.
Yeah, I think it's very funny because
cool.
even only very recently have I started purchasing wine, which I know sounds like so spoiled and bratty.
That's
Like,
amazing. No, that's
but
awesome.
it like we would, place orders through
Yeah.
mom.
That's
Oh
amazing.
And
my
Perks.
God.
Yep.
yeah. And to pile it on, my dad owns a butcher shop, so
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's
if you're trying to
Got
throw a
it all.
barbecue, like, you should call me.
that's amazing.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
God, just all the life essentials.
Yeah,
Just,
right
like,
Meat
there.
ready
and
to go.
wine.
I love
That's
it.
amazing.
That is amazing. All right, very cool. We have a great show for you guys this evening. Janine is joining us. We are going to do a little bit of PiNope and Chardonnay. As I mentioned, Janine was nice enough to take over the learning segment this evening, and we're going to try a new wine. And Joel is going to let us know a little bit more about that wine. So, Joel, would you let the people at home know what we're drinking this evening?
Yes, I would be glad to. So, mentioned this was a red wine from Italy. More specifically, this is the Planeta Cerasuolo di Vittoria. And this is from
Nice.
2021. This is a blend of two grapes, only one of which I'm familiar with, by the way. So I'm looking forward to learning about this. This is a 60% Nero di Vola and 40% Frappato. That's a new one for me, so looking forward to it. It's from the region of Vittoria. This has 12.5% ABV, and we picked this up for $26.
This is definitely one I'm excited about too, because like you mentioned, Joel, I don't think I've even heard of Frappato, or if I've heard of it, I've only heard of it in passing. So I don't
Yeah.
have any idea what that brings to the
Frappato.
table. So it'll be
We're in for a
interesting.
treat.
I hope so. And actually, that brings up a good segue there. Janine, this was your choice of wine. Could you tell listeners at home why we're drinking this one tonight?
Yeah, so I thought this was a fun one because it's not like the most well-known wine, and I love Italian wines. My mom's wine importing company that she worked for did a lot of Italian wine, so that's where most of my experience is. And the Planetas are like a really sort of famous wine family of Sicily. They're kind of responsible for making Sicily more well-known outside of Italy and making Sicilian wines kind of more popularized globally. And actually recently their winemaker won the Wine Enthusiast Winemaker of the Year award.
Wow.
So I'm thinking they're putting out some good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very cool. Oh, we love that. We love going to new places. Like we've had so many good experiences by just stepping outside of the, most familiar and tradition wine regions and just finding places in Italy and Spain and Portugal and, even outside of like the normal regions in France, they're just like not only just as good from like a flavor and experience side, but like pricing
Yeah.
is just
You get the
so
value.
much better. It's so
Absolutely.
much
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. When you guys drank like a Fiano, I was like, yes. And then I was thinking I might do a Vermentino, and then you like brought that in. So good job.
Yes.
You're
Yeah,
doing great.
And thank you. And like both of those were like the Fian was like really not only really good, but also like their producer was one of the producers who were like messaging back and forth with us and like just the engagement of these. I want to say smaller, but some of them are just like these really old multi-generational vineyards or estates, but they still just are like very involved in the marketing and production of their product,
For sure.
which has just been really cool.
Yeah, the Planeta, it's a family-owned winery. So like the winemaker is Alessio Planeta and the marketing person is Francesca. And it's
So cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. And that's one thing I don't think we do enough of on the show is dive into the producer. I don't think we've ever really, we bring it up here and there, but even just to know that, the winemakers from the family, that really adds a specialness to the brand.
I think that was one of the things that always made me love wine. It's like because of the incredible privilege I had to meet these people and these families and like get to know them. And I think it's just so cool to me. Like winemaking is one of the only things where a family could own the estate and they grow the grapes and then they make the wine, and like from soup to nuts, but like from ground to product, it's just like this one group of people working on this one thing.
Well, after that, can't wait to try this wine. Was excited about it before, but now I'm super pumped. So can't wait to get into that. But we got to get through a couple things before we do. So why don't we go ahead and jump into lots of business, but some fun business that I'm really looking forward to. We're playing one of my favorite games, PiNope or Chardonnay. So we're going to hop right into it. Aaron, you want to start us off with your PiNope or Chardonnay?
Yeah, absolutely. This one popped up when I was looking online for like some interesting wine situations that might be debatable. And so here's one that I think we've all probably experienced: drinking at a open bar work event. So it's kind of like a loose PiNope or Chardonnay. How are you experiencing that? Are you going in and being like, I'm not tangling with that? Or, it's like, it's open bar. They knew what they were getting into.
At least in my experience, it's the latter. I mean, I've been in like the consulting realm for a little while, and when the open bar is open, there's no holds barred, and the expectation is whatever happens, as long as you're in the meeting the next day, you're good to go. So yeah, pretty clear for me. That is a Chardonnay for enjoying the open bar at a work event. But be careful.
No, I'm gonna agree. I don't think I've ever been to a situation where they have an open bar and they don't want you to drink. Like, that's usually why they have an open bar to begin with, or even an open tab at a restaurant. They just want you to enjoy yourself and have a good time. So I'm also a Chardonnay to the open bar at a work event. Janine, what are you thinking?
It's funny coming from the education world with Aaron. It's a little bit it doesn't never happen, but it is certainly frowned upon to show up at school hungover. So I'm a Chardonnay, but like, it depends what day of the week, It depends if it's likely going to be not going to be maxing out the open bar value.
Yeah,
that's fair. That is fair.
That is fair. Yeah.
I feel like the landing of the open bar events, especially in the educational world, like if they plan one for like a Wednesday night, it's like, all right, everyone's going to have a drink or two and move on. If they plan their open bar event for a Friday night, they know what they're getting into. Teachers are burnt out and ready to go. For me personally, I'm like, if I'm going and hanging with people I know, we're all going to like keep an eye on each other and be like, yo, like chill. Great. I don't think I'm going too wild if I'm going to an event around and I don't see a lot of my close coworkers there.
It's fair,
because I don't want to wander onto the dance floor accidentally.
Yeah. Should we put a disclaimer out there not to take our direction on whether or not to go ham on the open bar at your next work event, listener? This is our anecdotal experience. You know your people.
That's right.
You know what to do.
It's a good point.
Someone head in hands. I shouldn't have listened to those people. I'll stop wasting your wine.
But the Stop Wasting Your Wine team said to go for it. Yeah.
They said Chardonnay.
Chardonnay. So yeah, so a responsible Chardonnays from all of us.
Yes, absolutely.
Chardonnay responsibly.
That's right.
I love that.
All right, Colin, what do you got for us?
All right, so PiNope or Chardonnay. Your friend gives you a recommendation for a bottle of wine, and it is just straight up terrible. It's just not very good at all, and you absolutely hate it. PiNope or Chardonnay, are you honest with them about how you felt about that bottle of wine?
Remember when I got you guys that bottle of layer cake?
Yes, I do remember that.
It was wonderful.
It was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
You Chardonnayed real hard on telling me the truth.
That's true.
That was a tricky one. That's a really tricky one. I don't know.
You know what's funny? The first thing that popped into my head was I know for a fact, Colin, that you are a Chardonnay. You are so wonderfully and sometimes annoyingly honest and blunt that I know for a fact you are a Chardonnay on this one.
Yeah, I would say.
Thank you for the recommendation, but that was trash.
Yeah.
Situational Chardonnay. I mean, it depends upon, I can be nice depending upon, not that sounds terrible. I can skirt the truth sometimes if, if the situation calls for it. But you're right, Joel. I usually am very honest. It's like, I just don't know how to do anything else. But
point of information, you said your friend. I think if it was your friend, you would be honest.
Yeah. For sure. A friend, yeah. But if it was somebody who like gave me a gift or something like that, they just wanted to, try to impress me, I'd be like, it was great.
But that's two different. I think that's in my head. It's like it's a difference between someone gave me a recommendation and I went out and tried it. I think I would absolutely Chardonnay be like, hey, that wasn't my jam. Like, thanks for the recommendation. Did not love it. Versus someone like coming to my house and giving it to me as like a housewarming gift or at a party and like opening it up and pouring it.
Sure.
I think I would like suffer in silence in that situation.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I feel like if it was a friend, you'd want to look out for them and make sure they're aware that this is a wine that maybe not everyone would like, because you want to prevent them from like bringing that same recommendation to like their whole world.
Very true.
That's fair.
Absolutely.
No, that's very true. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's like you're like protecting them from future mistakes.
Yeah, I like that perspective of it.
Yeah.
Like, I will never bring a layer cake to someone's dinner, thanks to you too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah, that's a big you're welcome.
No hard feelings.
Also, for the record, I'm a Chardonnay on that too. Yeah, let's be real. Let's be honest about it. You know, I will say too, doing this show and being a little bit more like, you know, critical about wines, even though I have no reason to, you know, have much of an opinion on this other than just learning about it and finding what I like. But I've gotten a little bit more comfortable with being like, no, that's just not good.
Yeah.
And giving that
For
feedback.
Dude, my friends have gotten like hesitant around me. They'll be like, hey, I brought this. Is this okay? Or they'll send me pictures, be like, is this good? And I'm like, y'all, I'm still the dummy on this podcast. Like, I don't know what that is.
But here's the thing, like that happens to me a lot too. And it's always happened to me because of my mom. But I like all wine. Like I'm the most indiscriminate, like I like some wines better than other wines, but if it's wine, like I mostly will like it. So it's kind of funny because sometimes people who just appreciate wine, like you could give them anything and they'll be like, cool, that was great.
Well, that's the thing too. Props to anybody who's coming over and bringing a bottle of wine. Like, thank you for doing that, period. That's awesome. Let's have some fun. Yeah.
100%. Unless it's layer cake.
Absolutely.
All right, Joel, do you have a PiNope or Chardonnay for us?
Yeah, mine's pretty basic, but I think it's something we need to talk about. It is the beginning to middle of September here, and I just need to know your opinions on the pumpkin spice latte. You can expand this too to be pumpkin flavored things this time of year, because I feel like people get a little wild with that. But the core of the question is that pumpkin spice latte. Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Chardonnay or PiNope? Go.
Yeah, this is an easy one for me. I want the pumpkin spice just injected into my veins. Just give me pumpkin spice everything. I don't care what it is.
Wow.
It's my one, like, I don't like a lot of flavored things. I drink my coffee black usually. You know, I don't really like sweet
You
things.
drink your coffee like you wear your t-shirts.
Yeah, that's right. But man, you give me that pumpkin spice. It's my little treat that I like to have for myself.
Okay.
So I'm
right.
Chardonnay for pumpkin spice anything. Just give it to me.
I have to be honest. I thought you were going to come out on the complete other side of what you just said.
100%.
Collins walked into a party, black t-shirt, hair back in a pony, being like, that wine sucks, but he's holding his pumpkin spice.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And
Absolutely.
he just takes a sip and he just takes a deep breath and smiles.
100%.
And then he throws a bottle of layer cake across the room.
Yep. No, I'm a fan.
I'm here for it. Okay.
I think we cut this part of the episode with Mike. But remember when you guys were ragging on me because I don't like apples? And everyone was like, I was the one person on the show that picked oranges over apples. I don't think I've ever had a pumpkin spice latte.
Wow.
Aaron.
I don't
pumpkin
think
spice
I've
anything?
ever,
Like
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever done a pumpkin spice. I think pumpkin as like a flavoring was not appealing to me at a certain point. And then like, you know, when you just get to an age and you stop trying things.
No.
Unless they
I don't know that, actually.
No, unless I'll say this. I've actually gotten better with age of trying things when it gets put in front of me. I used to be super picky, as you know, all of you know, actually.
Yeah,
you've all seen my eating habits. Like I used to be really picky, and I've also like gotten to the point where like if something is put in front of me, I like try it now. That's not something that just gets put in front of me. So like I've never had a pumpkin.
That's
spice
crazy.
latte.
I actually just bought the ingredients to make my own pumpkin spice lattes at home.
Oh my God.
See, I would be into that. Because I think I'm a PiNope, but not because I don't like pumpkin spice flavors, but because they do so much of it that it's like over the top. So I like your idea of like creating your own at home.
Definitely.
Having a dialed down version.
For sure.
Janine's a big cocktail maker. Like she loves making like, and so like I would love to try a pumpkin spice cocktail of sorts.
I'm gonna think about that.
Sign me up.
Think about that.
And your point too, just about how people just way overdo it. I mean, I'm a Chardonnay on this, but reluctantly. I'm a ChardonnYay because there's too much fanfare about this. Everybody just cool it. We all know it's going to be available. And yeah, if people would just dial back, like you don't have to now go crazy with it. Give me a little hint of pumpkin in a latte.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a
That's
happy
fair.
guy. So, but I do thoroughly enjoy the flavor and that time of year. As I said in one of our previous podcasts, I love the spooky season. That gets me in the mood. I'm here for it. ChardonnYay.
All right, awesome. Yeah, pumpkin spice lattes all the way. Janine, do you have a PiNope or Chardonnay?
I do. I'm ready to go. I'm curious about what you all think about this, because I know you're interested in budget wines and creating an affordable option for people in the wine world. But PiNope or Chardonnay spending over $70 on a wine glass.
I'm gonna say for me personally, I would say Chardonnay if I was the only person using wine glasses in my home. But my lovely wife has a really, and she's gonna give me a hard time because I actually broke a wine glass cleaning one the other day. But we go through wine glass sets like just like madness. Like this fly off the tables and shatter everywhere. And I feel like the more expensive, unless I'm gonna spend the money on like the indestructible, really nice ones, which I think are in that price range. But I'm saying PiNope right now until the wine glasses are in a safer space than my kitchen.
Yeah, I think I'm a PiNope too, but only because I haven't found a wine glass that makes that much of a difference. And I would imagine, like, what are you really getting for $70 that I can't get? I think my wine glass right now is from the dollar store. So I haven't noticed through my wine drinking that the glass makes that much of a difference. Now, maybe it does. I don't know. I do think you should have a red wine glass and a white wine glass. But beyond that, I'm not putting the extra money in for the super fancy wine glasses.
What do you think, Jill?
I'm very torn on this. I'm going to go PiNope on this, but it's really hard because I like a fancy thing, and I feel like we've had, for the same reason that I'm going PiNope, I want to go Chardonnay, and that's because we've had some fancy wine glasses in the past, and it feels very premium. I love it. It's very cool, but as you guys have indicated, they all broke and now they're just gone. So, from a practicality perspective, doesn't make much sense to me right now. I'm going PiNope. I'm very curious. What do you think?
It's funny because I'm a Chardonnay conceptually, because I have this wine glass that I really have wanted for like many, many years.
Yeah.
And I've never bought it. So like I just look at it online sometimes and I'm like, oh, it's the Zalto Universal. The
nice.
tilt of
Very
the tilt of the glass is the tilt of the
they're so
Earth's
nice
axis.
looking.
Like it's like crazy. Like
Shut up.
I mean,
That is cool.
That's so cool.
right.
Also, Janine was a science teacher for many years.
I like
so
nerdy
it's just
stuff like
double
that.
nerdy.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's cool.
It's Aldo
But also, you and
favorite,
Danielle,
and,
I feel like you and Danielle would be like, this is a very respected space in our home with like these wine glasses are safe.
well, like someday I might just get one, and it might just be like my wine glass that I keep in a hidden spot, and just like I think you know what, I think I'm a Chardonnay, and I think I'm gonna do that.
For the record,
that was a good
Janine,
one.
I say go for it on this thing. This is a fancy wine glass.
I'm gonna let you guys know when it arrives.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Yes, PiNope Chardonnay, one of my favorites. Just so much
is
fun.
fun.
The situations are always fantastic. All right. So super excited that Janine is going to teach us a thing or two. So let's get into the learning segment.
This is the only thing you will learn.
So I wanted to introduce the wines of Sicily a little bit. Sicily is the little island that the boot of Italy is kicking, and they grow all kinds of grapes in Sicily. But the two grapes that are found in this wine are indigenous to Sicily, which is why I thought it was a cool wine to test out.
Very
So
cool.
Nero de Avola is one grape, and it is more of a full-bodied type of wine that it produces. It's drier, and people compare it to like Cabs and Syrahs, but it's a much lesser known red grape. So you can often get like a $50 quality Nero de Avola for $20. So if you're thinking about a value wine and you like a Cab, a Syrah, it's a good way to go. And then Frappato, the one that was new to you, Colin, it's a very light-bodied grape. It's sort of similar to Gamay, they like Beaujolais style wine.
Okay.
So it creates a super light body wine. They actually, Planeta also has a Frappato that was on some lists this summer for being like served as a chilled red, like fully chilled. But in this wine, it's a blend. So you'll find that it sort of like brings some of the lightness and a balance to the Nero d'Avola.
It's so funny because before we started doing the show, if you would just ask me to name grapes that they make wine out of, first of all, I would have confused things that were grapes and things that were regions, like just 100%. And like two, like I would have been like, I don't know, how many grapes varieties are there out there? Like 20? And now we're just like, there's like hundreds in each country. Like it's not just like there's like hundreds total. Like when Ashwin was in, there's like 500 different varietals in like Georgia.
Whoa.
You know, it's like
Yep.
shoot.
Yeah.
And so like, and anytime we find this kind of stuff, especially when it has like this 1-to-1 value or this comparative value to like, this reminds you of Cab Franc or this reminds you of Gamay, like that is very cool. And that's really important knowledge when it comes to your own like wine purchasing habits. Because again, I don't have the money to go out there and be buying $120 bottles of, you know, Cab when I get the urge. So having that value aspect in the background is huge.
Yeah, I think Sicilian wines in general and like a lot of the Planeta wines are actually a little bit above the price point that we go for in the show. But their $40 Chardonnay, I think, is like at the quality of many $80 Chardonnays. So if you do want to like spring for something, Sicily is definitely a good value, and this particular winery. Oh, and also I know you guys introduced the concept of like DOC and DOCG as like the Italian denomination. So DOCG, the highest government denomination for wines. And this wine, the Cerasuolo di Vittoria, is the only DOCG in Sicily.
I think it's cool. You mentioned that these are both grapes that are indigenous to Sicily. The characteristics that you brought up about them, completely different. And I think explains why there's that 60-40 blend, you know, near totally equal, which is pretty cool. And it'll be interesting. I can't wait to try it to see how these two really kind of come together and complement each other and balance each other out.
Well, I'm super excited to try this one. I think we should go ahead and get into it. What do you guys say? You want to try some indigenous grapes?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Tastes like wine.
All right, Joel, you want to kick us off? What you're picking up on the nose?
Yeah, so I would just say, you know, first and foremost, definitely a fruitiness there, but what hits me the most is the earthiness, like almost even more than the fruit. It's like the fruit is first, but then most prevalent is a nice earthiness to me. I think that's pretty cool.
Aaron?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like the first thing that popped out, I was like looking for the fruit sense, but I was like, oh, there's like this earthy, almost like mossy, like just kind of not I don't know, not floral, but just like way more on the naturey side of some of the stuff that we've sent in the past. Is that doing? Where's my book? Should I pull my book out?
I like that.
Yeah,
I'm in on that note 100%.
You instead? Let's go. I'm getting better, guys. It's been a year.
That's not bad. Janine, what are you getting?
I've always been more along Aaron's lines of like, smells like wine. Honestly, I like trying to pick out what grape it smells like what wine does it smell like? But for me, it's funny because when I first poured it a little while ago, I was getting a lot of red fruit, but now I am getting a lot more of the earthy notes. So Cerasuolo is like the word means cherry in Italian, the root word, which I do actually get a little bit of cherry. It's actually named for the color, I think, not the smell per se, but I do feel like I'm getting some.
Agreed.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, 100%. That's you getting quite a bit of red fruit. I think is definitely the dominant fruit profile. Cherry is definitely number one there. Maybe a touch of raspberry too. I think cherry dominates, but I think there's a little bit of raspberry in there. And then you're definitely getting some of that earthy. Aaron, I didn't hate floral when you said floral. I think there's kind of an earthy floral note to this. But yeah, it smells really nice. This is one of those ones where if it tastes like it smells, I think we are in for an absolute treat.
Yeah, like I say, like kind of like what Janine said about like this smells like other wines or smells like other grapes. Like that's kind of, I think, where I am mostly now that we've gone through a whole different profile. And like, I like the profile of this smell. I was like, again, like I haven't like totally hammered down how to describe it, but we've had a few wines at this point that have like this kind of balanced profile between that earthiness and fruitiness. And I have to say, this is probably like one of my more favorite like profiles that we've kind of experienced.
Yeah, I would say this is kind of like Pinot Noir with an Italian funk. Is kind of where I'm landing. It has kind of that earthy note you can get with Pinot Noir. It's a little bit different than what you would find in French Pinot Noir per se, but it definitely has that earthy, and then the red fruits. That's very Pinot Noir-esque. It's definitely Italian though. It kind of has that rusticity on the nose that Italian wine does. So super excited to try it. Let's go ahead and get in there.
Let's drink it.
All right, Aaron, I'm going to switch it up since Joel did the nose first. You want to let us know what we get on the palate?
I think I really appreciate some of the comparative aspects when you were describing the grapes, because the Cabernet Sauvignon comparisons like really popping out to me in trying this, and even like actually even some of the like the Gamay aspects of it. It's a very interesting balance of a wine. I say too, from the tannins aspect, when I just take a sip, it's not super tannic, but when you swish it around, like the activation is like a lot more. I don't know. I'm really kind of digging the structure of this, because it's like a medium aspect, but it's like very enjoyable and balanced.
I would agree. Joel?
Okay, so I think on the sip, a little bit more of the fruit now taking the starring role here. And I didn't get any of this on the nose, but a little bit of strawberry in there. Like older, again, not older, but a little riper strawberry, I should say. So a little bit more of that coming through. There's still like an earthiness, but it's not quite as, I don't mean this in a terrible way, but it's not quite as interesting as I thought it was going to be on the nose. Like it's still there, but it's kind of hidden back there. But yeah, that's what I'm getting so far.
Janine, what are you picking up?
Yeah, definitely the red fruit. I did get a little strawberry now that you said that. That was like as you were saying it, I was getting that flavor.
Yep.
I agree with Aaron what you said about the tannins. Like on an initial sip, they're pretty light to medium, but if you swish it around, you can pick more up. I think to me it's like a really nice medium. It's like a medium body. It's like a medium tannin. This is one of my favorite wines to bring to someone's house for dinner when I don't know what we're having, because it like kind of would go with everything.
Yeah,
it's just like a nice medium.
Yeah, for sure. I think the blend makes a lot of sense, because you get a lot of the lighter fruit, but you get some of that tannin, which is really nice. I think the acidity is really nice. I would agree. Everything's pretty medium. The body is actually, it's a little bit almost medium minus, which I really enjoy. This is definitely a wine that's light on its feet, which is nice, especially a break from some of the big heavy reds that we've been trying. This is kind of like a ballerina red as opposed to a tank.
The flavor hangs out though. Like some of our issues with some of these reds that we've had over the past month, I've noticed, is we've like, ooh, there's like a good flavor in the beginning, but then like, man, thins out too fast, and we lose the flavor. I think that was our issue with the Gamay we tried, is that it didn't hang out as long as we wanted, and that's not the experience I'm getting here. This has kind of like a nice hold. The body holds out, the structure holds out, and then the flavor just kind of chills.
Yep,
it's very tasty.
I was going to say exactly that. The finish on this wine is really nice, and the flavors are just so nice and bright and fresh. There's not a lot of those cooked flavors in this one. Like the fruit is really nice, and it's almost refreshing. Honestly, this is almost like a refreshing.
It's a porch powder?
No.
It's a good the Frappato. Like if you get the Frappato varietal, the bottle looks the same. It's just white with the swirls. That one could be, if you need a red chilled porch pounder episode, you could throw that in the mix.
I would love to try that.
We could find a red porch pounder.
That
I don't
sounds
think
like
we haven't nailed it. We haven't got a red porch pounder yet, have we?
No, we haven't. But honestly, this is as close as I think we've gotten, to be honest. That's at least. So I would say the Gamay, as far as style, is close to a porch pounder, but as far as enjoyability and do I want to drink this sitting on my porch a little bit chilled? Yeah, 100%. I absolutely do.
100%.
If it is a cool fall evening up north, or like the dead of winter in Florida, I would totally drink this like on my porch at nighttime, like just chilling.
Two things. You could pound this, but I don't think you would want to, because it's too enjoyable. And number
There you go.
two,
That's fair.
the reason that I wouldn't want this to be a CPP is while the drinking it is definitely a drinker, like it's very, very easy. The nose to me is a thinker. Like I want to sit, I would drink this so slowly because I just want to keep smelling it and trying to figure out, what exactly is going on in there. So for those reasons, I am against this being a CPP, but I understand what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
It is the closest we've
I like
No,
got.
that.
and I don't think anyone's making a full argument for a CVP, but
No.
I think the
I'm getting a
closest
little
there is
worked
kind of
up.
cool.
I get
Yeah.
I
very,
feel that. I feel that.
very
Calm down.
defensive of
No,
the
no.
CPP title, and
I
you
know you
guys
are.
are
Yeah,
just
the CPP
playing
sticker's not
around
coming
with
out.
it like it's something you can just stamp on whatever. I'm joking.
No, but I will say this too, just as a reminder of like the structure and like the alcohol level. Like this is a 12.5%, and so as far as some of like the bigger reds we've had, this is not a big bold red, but it's not it's not a rosé. It's not like a super light red. It's not the full Gamay that we had, and so like it does also have that nice like medium alcohol level where you can drink this and enjoy this, and you're not getting knocked on your butt from the ABV, but it is like more impactful than your like 9.5% porch pounder, which I think is the kind of the running trend with a lot of things we have named as porch pounders. They're usually like 11% and down.
Yeah.
Agree.
What you guys were saying about the finish is really sticking with me now, as I'm like, it's been like a minute and a half since I took a sip and I still taste like all the flavors.
Yeah. And it's really nice. I love a wine with a good finish. That makes such a difference to me because that's kind of how you remember the sip, right? Like last week's wine, the finish tasted to me was like brie cheese, which the rind of brie cheese, which was not nice.
Yeah.
I did not like that finish at all. But this is like, I just want to take another sip so I can enjoy the finish on this wine.
I wish I could remember who said it to me, but it was some like older Italian winemaker told me that like Italian wines are meant to be had with food. Like in Italy, you drink wine with food. You don't drink wine by itself. And so when I think about this wine and like all the different flavors that it could stand up to a decent amount of different kinds of things.
Yes.
Like even spice, like I could see it going with something a little spicy.
Janine,
You could have it
you're
with like a
blowing my mind
fish
right
kind
now.
of thing, even.
Do you know what's
just
funny?
the food friendliness.
Do you know what I was going to say, Janine, is what I want with this is like a garlicky penne arrabbiata, like something spicy and tomatoey and garlicky. Because, man, I just feel like it would go so perfectly with not only drinking it, but then like we're talking about too, that kind of lingering experience that's in there. While that's there, I want to pop in a little penne arrabbiata. It'd be perfect.
All right. Well, we've been very complimentary so far. I kind of feel like I know where this is headed, but there could be some surprises. But why don't we go ahead and jump into the review?
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
As per tradition, since this is Janine's wine, we will let her go last. So I will throw it to you, Aaron. What are you thinking? Where are you putting this wine?
Oh man, it's definitely a kitchen table wine for me. Man, I even got I have to do some mental inventory in my head of like what's in my wine fridge at this point, because I feel like it's been a while since we've had a competitor for the wine fridge. You, Colin, recently put in your bubbles. I think that was the last thing that went in. But it's really good. It's really unique. $26 is like a very fair priced red wine to grab that I think the balance between the bigger, bolder grape and lighter grape is just creating like this really kind of nice experience with just like a lasting flavor. I don't know. It's really, really nice. I would 100%, like Janine mentioned earlier, like this would definitely be a wine that I would grab and bring over to a friend's place to go with dinner, to drop off at someone's house, to bring with me to a BYOB Italian restaurant. 100% on my kitchen table, something I want to share with other people.
Joel?
I think I'm putting it in my wine fridge.
Whoa.
I think I'm gonna do that.
Oh, man.
Um,
Wow. What a shock.
Here's why.
That's
Here's
awesome.
why.
Love it.
I know it's not perfect, this wine, but it's really, really good. And the reason I think I'm going to put it in my wine fridge is because I'm enjoying this more than the Monastrell. This is taking out the Monastrell, because I maybe we'll go back. We'll try that. I'm going to try that Monastrell again. I'm going to regret doing this, but I'm having a really fun time drinking this wine, and I'm wanting a little bit more on the on the sip, like I was talking about. Like, but the fun of the nose on this is enough for me to really be enjoying this. I don't know if it's going to be in here for forever, for a very long time, but for right now, this is going in my wine fridge.
It has the honor of being
Love
there
it.
at one time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely love that.
Super
For sure.
enjoyable.
Well deserving. And I just want to say, I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've had a guest bring on a wine fridge wine. I mean, this is a huge deal, Janine. I mean, you
Thank
really hit it out of the park with this one. Unbelievable.
That's
Way to
amazing.
go.
That is.
I only spent like 6 or 7 hours picking it. So
Ooh,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding a little bit. Honestly,
She's not kidding. She was texting me.
the challenge was finding ones that we could all get at Total Wine.
yes.
That
That
is-
makes it
that
hard.
is a
doesn't it?
challenge, for
Yeah,
sure.
For sure.
But that is, I'll say this, that is the challenge, but also I think one of the best parts about our show is because we find wines that literally most people across the country can get.
Yeah.
And that means we're leaving some good stuff on the table and or off table, I should say. And I'm sorry about that. But there's nothing more frustrating than when you listen to a show or you listen to a review and you're like, ooh, I want to try that. And it's not within 500 miles of you.
Yeah.
And so we can honestly say that a vast majority of the stuff that we review on the show, anyone, in the continental US can get.
Yep.
Yep.
For sure.
Absolutely. All right. So yeah, I am going to put this one on the kitchen table. This is a must share. It's just so enjoyable to drink. Like there's no other way to put it. It's just so tasty. You want to share this because it just tastes so darn good. Like I don't know really what else to say about it. It's just so damn tasty. I just want to keep drinking it. Every time I look down, my glass is empty and I pour myself more. It's just one of those wines
What row?
Yeah. I know. But it's just one of those wines that you just want to keep drinking. So I would absolutely love to share this with other people. It is an absolute recommend. The flavors are really nice. The finish is phenomenal. Just an all around, just good sipper. Gosh, just delicious wine. So kitchen table for sure. Janine, where are you putting this one?
Well, my wine fridge is empty, as you know.
It's
low stakes.
No, it's interesting because I feel like if I'm thinking about like under $30 wines, I may be putting it in a wine fridge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you start bringing in some like, some of the crazy stuff, but where it really lives in my life, because this is the wine that I chose and this is the wine that I drink a lot, is definitely kitchen table. Like I buy many bottles of it at a time, and it's always a thing where I'm like, oh, what should I bring or what should I drink, and I find myself grabbing it a lot. So I think kitchen table is the appropriate spot for my my pick.
Yes.
Yeah,
well
and
said.
just a reminder to the listener, like kitchen table is like the premier, like share these with your friends. Like, we have at this point dozens of wines on our kitchen table, and that's the point. Like you want a repertoire of affordable wines. I feel so much more prepared to exist in the world because I can walk into a wine store and be like, okay, there's like 20 wines I can walk out with right now without breaking the bank that I know are going to be enjoyable and good. And that's huge. And it's one of the biggest reasons people feel, scared of entering the wine scene is because they don't know how to make those choices because they just don't have the base knowledge to do it.
Absolutely. That's why you need to listen to the show. Come on in, everybody.
That's what we're doing here. That's the service we're providing.
That's right.
Confidence in a wine shop.
That's it.
That's right.
That's it.
That's it.
And for the record, if the kitchen table is where you put the wines that you want to share with your friends, the wine fridge, I have a padlock on my wine fridge. And if anybody gets too close to that thing at a party and they're looking in there and they're trying to figure out how to get in there, I'm like, whoa.
The unshareable.
Get your table, buddy.
It's not for you.
That's for you.
I could put my Zalto wine glass in there.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, you
in
should.
the wine fridge, 100%.
I would do that for sure.
Well, I think it goes without saying this is not a waste of your wine. I don't think we even need to bring that up. So we'll skip right on past that. Janine, thank you so much for being here. You have been an amazing guest.
Thank you for
so
having
much
me.
fun. Absolutely.
Very fun.
Thank you for coming on. Another really fun episode. Another great wine. Thank you for bringing on this wine. Phenomenal wine.
It was nice to get to sit and drink it and appreciate it with you.
Yes,
with you all.
Absolutely.
Sure.
All right, Aaron, would you like to tell the people where they can connect with us?
Absolutely. So obviously our number one point of contact is Instagram. We love it there. It's just a really great community. Obviously. Find us at Stop Wasting Your Wine. Reach out to us, send us a message. We will absolutely reach back out to you. We're always looking for new folks to join us on the show. Or if you have a wine that you think we should review, we'd love to talk about it. Check out stopwastingyourwine.com. You can see all our reviews. You could also listen to the show directly through there. Check us out on YouTube, or you can see our beautiful faces. Also, you can see our beautiful faces on Spotify, which is always jarring when I forget about that and I hit play and we pop up. But yeah, I would say those are our biggest places.
Awesome. And Joel, before we go, could you just remind the listener at home what we're drinking tonight, since we've had so many nice
In
things
your
to say?
best
Yes.
Italian accent. Just get it. Just come on.
Just
We're going to send this part to
review.
Ashwin.
Well, I've had a little bit now, so I'll put a little bit more gusto.
You're
in
probably
this.
even more Italian at
Yes.
this point. Yeah.
That's what I'm going with. So this is the Planeta Cerasuolo di Vittoria.
Perfect.
Nailed
Love
it.
it. Cool.
Fantastic.
That's pretty good, right?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, another big thank you to Janine. Another big thank you for everybody listening, and we will catch you all next week.
And remember,
Bye.
stop wasting your wine.
Bye, y'all.